So in my crusade of talking about the latest Gumball episodes, we meet with the web, a very interesting concept to come in season 6 for many reasons. So let's get into this. Gumball and Darwin are looking through Elmore Plus, a well-established fictional social media site that the duo are often using. They show this to give the impression that the duo are very experienced with using the internet.
What?
What are you doing?
Updating your antivirus.
How on earth is that supposed to help? By the way, you put it in upside down.
It's like a vaccine. You expose yourself to a little of the virus to build up immunity.
Now what are you doing?
Your keyboard's full of crumbs. Do you want your computer to have bugs? Because that's how you get bugs.
Now this is a very weird twist and variation. Anyone who knows the show knows that very little episodes have Nicole being the aloof one. You'd expect Richard to be the one who couldn't use the internet. I'm guessing that they switched the two not only for a fresh perspective, but also because it has been hinted before that Richard has at least some experience with the internet. Once in the mustache, it was revealed that Richard bought supplements for his body online and threw out his computer in rage. It shows that he knows how to use his computer in the basic sense, but still gets scammed because overall he's not a super intelligent person. You also have the uploads in which
I'm just loading up the game now. Okay, it's called Calculator. You take your character and you pick up a pair of binoculars and you spot the treasure marked by the X, obviously.
And these things played off of his personality to be dumb. Now, even though it's a fresh take on the topic, I do have to ask, did you pick Nicole because you didn't want to do another Richard is Dumb episode? I do applaud the intentions, but it does make this episode hard to keep the suspension of disbelief when Nicole is the character you cast to make a literal firewall. She also gets all of this information from a parenting magazine, which is supposed to poke fun at family-centered organizations that take an aggressive stance on safety. But instead of playing on the paranoia side or the aggressive control side that Nicole is known for also exhibiting similar traits, you essentially just make her dumb, okay? So because of Nicole's actions, Gumball wishes to inspect Nicole's computer, to which she is shown to not know how to use it. We do at least get some comedy.
Mrs. Mom, that pop-up window is 20 years old.
It's a very rocky start to an already rocky episode. However, we do get a closer look on the Rainbow Factory, a place we've been to in the Worst, the Factory, the Fan, and the Fury among other episodes. However, unlike the Factory, another season 6 Gumball episode, it focuses less on the factory and more on the co-workers. To cut to the chase, they are pretty bland. They have one joke, the same joke that everyone else has, so pretty much it's nailing the point home that no one besides kids know how to use the internet. I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste anyone else's time, so let's just get to the meat of this. It's clear that the main reason this episode exists is to just make internet humor and have Gumball and Darwin poke fun at an inexperienced internet user. So let's replace Nicole for a second, just for the giggles. Even if you were to argue that Richard shouldn't replace Nicole because there are way too many Richard is stupid for the sake of being dumb episodes, Gumball is the last show to switch characters so half-heartedly as they did here. I can give you 3 premises, way better than Nicole is dumb for one episode, especially because they needed someone to use the internet in a poor way.
Sometimes it asks me to right-click to do something, but when I do, nothing happens. Can you fix that?
Show me.
Look, even when I get closer.
Number 1. Mr. Smalls gets fired from Elmore Junior High and gets hired by the Rainbow Factory. He enlists the help of Gumball and Darwin so that he doesn't get fired, and the episode takes you through tons of internet jokes along the way. Number 2. Rocky wants to teach his dad how to use the internet to give him something to do, which leads into Gumball and Darwin wanting to impress Mr. Robinson like they usually do, which leads into a lot of crazy encounters. Number 3. Nicole wants to get better equipment around the office, as a lot of the stuff they use is outdated, so she goes to her boss with their family's help to try to get the workplace to at least learn how to use the internet. Any of these 3 choices, maybe even a few in the comments below, at least has some consistency in universe, and that's a big lingering problem in season 6. These episodes have kind of run out of things to say, and thus are coasting on what made them more popular than they were, which is their knowledge on internet culture, you know, their modernness and meta humor. Unfortunately for this episode, it comes up short because that's all this is, and for a show like Gumball, this episode is ironically outdated. It just seems a little weird that Nicole being taught the internet in season 6 is actually a thing. Yes, there's no ongoing story or extreme lore in the amazing world of Gumball, but you're not going to see a Gumball penny episode episode past the shell that has Penny and Gumball go back to being awkward and not popping the question they did in that episode. Or you're not going to see a Miss Simeon or Principal Brown centered episode that doesn't acknowledge that they're together. I can easily build a case that the show has a natural sense of progression in terms of relationships and dynamics. Had this been in season 1, maybe it would have passed a little better, but here it just seems lazy.
You're lucky you two are my bays.
What?
My bays. My babies. That's what it means, right?
Yes.
Ooh, someone clearly watched Mike and Nell. Now you're probably asking, is there some sort of overall conflict going on in the episode? Such as a ticking clock or an increasingly frustrated duo? No. The entire episode is just this. There isn't a grand scheme to it. Look at the other episodes I covered. The transformation. Gumball and Penny must settle their parents' conflict with a shellless Penny, or else she may be ostracized from the family. The drama. Gumball must save Darwin from being cheated on because he was perceived as not being cool enough, or else Darwin may have a broken heart. Allegedly. The silence. Gumball must rescue Darwin from a hot junkyard car, or else he'll die. It's almost as if the staff figured out how to write the show as it is before asking why. What is the or else here? In the meantime, there are some good jokes.
Pix email? What is this?
It's my mailbox. I saw a Christmas promotion for it at the post office. And saves on stamps.
Mrs. Mom, normal emails are easier.
And some not good jokes.
Jackie Wilson, tough morning today. Anniversary of the day my granddad went missing at sea. And you answer with a photo of a sad kitten saying ROFL?
Yeah, receive our feelings and love.
Right.
One thing I do enjoy about Gumball in general is its way of animating slapstick. Some of the funniest jokes I've ever seen in a slapstick category is on this show. However, there are times within this episode where they set up for something, and you would expect a wacky explosion or a cartoonishly comedic failure that results in the pain of the character, where they just do nothing. Allow me to give you an example. So Nicole during lunch goes shopping on the internet, but is against buying anything because the last time that she paid, she got ripped off. The joke is that her method of payment was cash through the CD tray, which when placed into the computer, a sound effect plays. No explosion, no computer coming to life and insulting her existence, just Gumball asking her to slap herself. A joke we've seen in Gumball, The Prank, which is a very old episode. What makes this more frustrating is that Nicole has used a credit card before. In The Money, one of the first scenes is Nicole using a credit card. There's experimenting with the characters to give it a fresh perspective, and then there's completely ignoring what you built for years to force an episode. There's no way she would get to entering a credit card information and go, duh, I put the money in computer. She even acknowledges using a credit card within this episode. So the excuse of each episode being in a vacuum is flawed.
First, it's your birthday, so they know when you were born. Secondly, they know your address from that birthday card. And finally, they know your credit card number, front and reverse. And on a separate note, you look like you have a tiny guy on your back.
Side note, I do appreciate this scene as it was an accurate portrayal of how certain people don't mean to, but give away tons of information about themselves that malicious folk on the internet may use. I don't want to ignore the good jokes in here, but Gumball is known for great comedy, at least to me. I love its humor, but even in the worst episodes, you have a few jokes. Like with The Silence, we get a song about how it's scary that the world is knowing that adults/people in charge are completely incapable of using the internet. The song was just there. There was nothing too significant about it. And that's all I can say. It was just kind of there as a song, nothing more than that. The episode ends with Gumball and Darwin replacing their computers with simpler objects, and that's how the episode ends. If this episode shows us anything, it's also getting on its last legs. While yes, there's a side of me that wants to appreciate the message of showing kids that the higher ups are not as savvy on internet culture, the other part of me is heavily disappointed that you had to bastardize one of the characters in order to make a point. This very well may be the worst episode of season 6. And to be so far close to the end, it doesn't make me very confident in its end. Anyway, let me know what you think and tell me what other Gumball episodes would you like me to cover next, or maybe from another show. I read as many comments as I can. Special thanks to the patrons of June, and until next time, take care. Alpha out.